Welcome to another Self-Love Conversations. My name is Gloria Ward, and thank you so much, ladies, for always coming on and always being here with us. We have an amazing woman tonight who is an RN. Are you currently still an RN?
Yes.
Miss Jasmin Nesbit, and she is going to have a discussion with me. We're going to talk about trauma, how we get over trauma, how we take back our pain, and we're going to discuss some of the things that she's doing in order to go ahead and help, other women in the industry. So, Jasmin, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Gloria, for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, you know, just talking about everything, especially in January, there's a lot of like heavy things that are going on. First of all, you have people who are just coming out of the holiday season, right?
Mhm.
You have a lot of people who just came through the holidays, going through grief and everything. And so now they're trying to get themselves together just to get ready for that new year, right?
Correct.
There's
Yes.
always that trauma that sneaks in, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
There's
Agree.
always things that happen, right? Can you tell us your story and how did you get here?
Okay. So, well, first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Jasmin Nesbit. I am a mother of two. I have a loving husband. I'm a registered nurse, and I am an um, work in progress entrepreneur.
Mhm.
So, my purpose of telling my story or sharing my story is to hopefully enlighten those who are in the state of the darkness as
Mhm.
a result of trauma by sharing my journey of hope, courage, and strength, which I believe led me to finding my purpose. And
Absolutely.
as well, I would like to give honor and value to those who are actually or have actually made a change in their lives and have brought meaningful uh, meaningful resonance or have helped others despite their trauma.
Mhm.
So the way I see it, Gloria, trauma is a lasting emotional response, meaning these are our behaviors and emotions that we carry forward as a result of the distressing event that happened in our lives. You
Correct.
agree?
I do agree.
So this would be affected. So how we live our lives, how we make decisions, how we interact with others, and how we value other people, and especially ourselves.
Mhm.
We seem to forget that a lot,
Right.
especially ourselves, how we value ourselves is all have to do with our personal journey, our struggles, and our traumas. And, you know, given that, I strongly believe that each and every single one of us are given the strength and courage to overcome trauma. It's
Absolutely.
like it's like we're gifted certain capabilities that we don't even know. We don't even realize, to be completely honest. And that is because I myself experienced that in such a way.
Mhm.
And we have given that by the power of God and to turn our life around. And it's very important. I want to share the importance of recognizing that, recognizing that special talent that we have that we
Mhm.
don't know we have.
Mhm.
So, sharing my journey. Okay, so how is my journey, helping, going to help others, enlighten them in their darkness or wherever they are right now in their state of trauma, or if they're still dealing with the result of a traumatic event.
Right.
So it's like, you've heard of like a fight or flight response mechanism, right?
Yeah.
So you know how our brain triggers us in such a way that if we are in a state of emergency or we're in a state of trauma, or we have the instinct to act quickly. That's
Yes.
our normal fight or flight response. But after a trauma, I find that we just take it. Whatever is the result of that trauma, we just take it and develop a habit and a behavior that I feel that it's like we are accepting it, that whatever it was the result of that, that's our reality. Well, we don't have to do that. It doesn't have to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, so I'll share with you a story.
Yeah.
When I was 8 years old, my parents took us to the with my three siblings. Okay, we went to a trip to visit my grandparents, and we were on a bus. It was Christmas Eve, and the bus was full. It was full of people. There was no way to sit. There was no way to stand. It was in the Philippines, and I fell asleep. And it was like an 8 hour travel. The bus fell off a bridge
Wow.
and landed in the water.
Mm.
It was dark. It was dark. I remember I remember waking up and half of my body was in the water. The people were shouting, "Help, help." I thought I was dreaming. Then I realized that it was real. We were in an accident. So I looked up, and there goes people climbing up through the broken window.
Mm-hmm.
I was being trampled as they were trying to escape.
Right.
They were stepping on my head, on my shoulder. I could not even move.
Mm.
And I kept on getting pushed down the water as they stepped on me until something happened. Someone grabbed my hand, and it was my sister.
Mm-hmm.
She managed to pull me up, and I heard my dad's voice. Jasmin, Gigi, Jasmin, my dad was calling us. So we were trying to get out of the window because, before the bus would sunk, right?
Mm-hmm.
So moments later, we were out of the bus with injuries. And at that moment, I thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to die until my sister took my hand. And that moment, when my sister took my hand, that was my hope.
Yeah.
That was my hope.
Yeah.
So this is a moment that we have to realize that in every event or every situation that we go through, there is hope.
Mm-hmm.
So don't ignore that. No matter how tiny that string of hope is, we should never ignore that hope, because that could save us and that could save our life.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for sharing that story, because one of the things that we don't know, Jasmin, is really how trauma affects us, right? And it could be
For sure.
different things and different events. But the other thing is, Jasmin, is we don't know how to process that either. Because as we are going along in our lives, we are told to forget about it. We are told to, suck it up. That's something that happened. Let go of the past. You should be okay. Thank God you lived, right? And then let's go ahead and continue with our lives, where if that's the only thing that's the only thing you're being told, because that's what your father's doing, that's what your mother is doing, and that's what everybody else is doing, well, you're going to go follow suit, even though there's something nagging you, there's something bothering you, and you don't understand why your life is the way it is, and why you can't go beyond a certain point in your life, and why you have a lot of fear until you have to deal with what happened to you, right?
Correct.
So as we are moving through this world, it's like, how are we supposed to go ahead and process something like that where we really don't even know what the hell to do?
It's true. It's true.
You know what I'm saying?
And with everyone, like everyone goes through different types of trauma in their lives, right? And the thing with how I was living it with mine is that until I reached to a point where I could say that I found my purpose, it's just all of those things I look at all those things are actually they're actually paths. It's like your 10,000 kilometer path of journey in your life that you have to go through, that you have to walk in order for you to reach to a certain point in your life that it will kick in you and say, oh, that's why I ended up, that's why I had to go through that to end up here.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want people to hang on to that, hang on to that and keep fighting, keep moving forward, keep moving forward, because that's the only way that you realize that this is more to life than just our struggles.
Exactly. But there's some people that say it's easy for you to say because you figured it out, right? And
And
I would ask you to let those people know who are saying those things.
mhm,
At what point in your life did it click for you? What
yes,
was there an event or a situation, or did you have to hit rock bottom? What was it for you where you were like, you know what? I think I found my purpose. Was it
yes,
that aha moment like everybody speaks about, right? Because
yes,
the person
yes,
who's listening to this, they believe you, but they don't.
yes, for sure. I get it. I was one of them. I
Mm-hmm.
was one of them. And I can only share a story uh based on um how I understand how I understand purpose
Correct.
based on my true to life story.
Mm-hmm.
So I always wanted to be a nurse. There was something about the nurse's hats that drew me into nursing. I, when I was a child, I would get empty cardboard boxes and I would shape them into a nurse's hat. There were only two professions in mind that I wanted to become. It was either a nurse or a nun, and they both wear a hat and a white hat. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I became a nurse, we no longer wear hats.
Right.
So so there is my goal in life. I wanted to become a nurse. And the question was why? So in God's guidance, I made it happen. Despite being a single mother, I was cleaning windows, I was washing dishes, and I was washing dishes, cleaning restaurants, whatever. And I became a nurse. So, like every single one of us, we do everything we can to reach to our goal, right? There are struggles towards the steps to get our goals, but we do it. And there are many people who succeeded, and I'm one of them. I became a nurse. I'm very thankful of being a nurse. But then when I became a nurse, I struggled from workplace violence, bullying, and harassment.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought to myself, damn, man, like I worked so hard to get here.
Mm-hmm.
I worked so hard to get here. And this is how it's going to be. This is how we're going to treat one another.
Right.
I mean, come on, there's got to be more to this than that, whatever, right? And that alone is my self reflection of what I really want and where I really want to be. So for someone who's saying that, okay, it's easy for you to say because you found it. Well, sit down, dig deeper, and ask yourself, is this really what I want? Is this really how I want to be treated? And if the answer is no, then you change it.
Mm.
Do something to make a difference in your life. And then when the difference happen in your life, you can help others to make a difference in their lives.
Absolutely. And what I also love that you said is that once you actually found your purpose and you was able to accomplish what you needed to accomplish to walk in your purpose, there were still struggles, there were still
Correct.
challenges. Because see,
Yes.
once you go ahead and start to walk in your purpose, it doesn't mean that the problems go away. It
No.
doesn't mean that this is the end all be all, and now you're going to live happily ever after.
No.
There's always another level, right? There's
Yes.
always another level of growth. Why? Because this new life that you painted for yourself is new for you. So you have to figure out what that's like, what those habits are like. How are
Yes.
you going to walk in that? And then how are you going to take that to the next
Exactly.
level?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. So yes, absolutely. I completely agree. So, going back to that, I noticed that I didn't like the way. people are treating one another. And it's probably because of the stress. It's probably because of the trauma that these people are going through. Whatever the reason was, it was not something that I can say to myself, this is the power of hard work to become a nurse. Now I'm here.
Right.
There was more to it. There was something. I was looking for something, for a change, for something better.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to myself, well, you know what? I changed career. No, it's too late. I'm too old for that.
Yeah.
Then I guess I'll just have to accept it then. This is my reality.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I said to myself, no, this isn't my reality. I need to find somewhere where what I really want to do. And then I began to start questioning. I'm so unhappy. I'm stressed out. I bring it home, this and that, right? Like every single one of us.
Yeah.
So I was working in the ER. I was new in the ER because I'm an ICU nurse. I was new in the ER. And in 3 months working in the ER, I noticed that we nurses, we are on our feet a lot. We
Yeah.
are constantly on our feet. And it clicked to me that, you know what? Um, I need to do something so that it's easier for me to, I can manage my time better. I need to have a little tool that will help me manage my workload. And so
Mm-hmm.
I created a little bag for nurses, and it was for me. It was for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it clicked to me that, you know what? We could use this. This is working for me, because every single tool that you need to take care of your patient is there. And it's you are saving your time.
Yeah.
That when it all began to me, Gloria. That's the one I'm telling you about, that all this little journey that I have, I put myself into, it clicked to me. I said, oh my gosh, I'm going to make more of this. And because
Yeah.
people were asking, make me some more, make me one, until I ordered my first batch. And there you go. I sold all of them to my colleagues.
Yeah.
So then there's a problem. So there you go. So there I'm starting to find a little something that I kind of, you know what, it gave me energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm going to show this to our educators.
Yeah.
So there you go. I show it to our educators, and they're like, wow, yeah, this is great. Um, that's awesome. You thought about this. This is awesome. And then, you know what? I sold already. I sold like 50 of them.
Wow.
And then they said, did you tell our boss? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Well, you gotta tell them. They gotta tell her. It's her department. I was so afraid. I was so afraid to tell my boss,
Yeah.
because I was used to being bullied. I was used to being criticized. I was used to being, you know, all those negative feelings,
Yeah.
right? So time come, I had to meet my boss. So I put on like a nice pair of business suit, carried my laptop, I prepared for the meeting, but inside, I had all these feelings and thoughts of uncertainty and fear. And I said to myself, if she doesn't agree, I would have to reimburse all my colleagues that bought my bag. If she rejects this idea, I would have to do this, right? And before I finished giving her the details of my idea, Gloria, every time I share this story, I have goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that people need to understand. Words are so powerful. It changes a lot. It changed a life.
Say it again.
Before I even finished how I described my little tool to her, she leaped from her chair, hugged me, made me sit down where she was sitting, and she told me, my dear, I have been in business for 27 years. You are born to be an entrepreneur. I know one when I see one.
Wow.
And not just that, your journey will help inspire others. Go patent this.
Wow.
And I was in tears.
Wow.
Those few words inspired me to the core, made me realize all the reasons for my pain.
Correct. Correct. Not even that. It's your whole entire journey. See, and this is what I tell the women all the time. You believe that what happened to you was the worst thing, and you holding it, and you have the fear, and you are holding your life back because of it. You're not opening yourself up to love. You're not opening yourself up to what the world has to give you. But the reason why you went through what you went through is for you to share your story with other people, because that's not for you. And that's hard to hear, but it is for the person who is waiting on you. See, your colleagues, your boss was waiting on you, but you had to wash windows. You had to go through your traumatic event. You had to go ahead and become a nurse. You had to go ahead and get bullied. You had to go do all that stuff, because you know what that did for you, Jasmin? It still gave you that confidence and that resilience. Because when you think back of when you was washing those windows, when you think back of when you was in that water, there is nothing
Yes,
that can become between that and all of the stuff that you did to become a nurse. There's nothing. The most that that person can do is tell you no. I can take that.
absolutely.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? I can take that. And so now, when you
Mhm.
didn't get that answer and you got something different, you know why you got that? Because you were vulnerable. You did it anyway. You were nervous. You were scared, but you did it anyway. And then
Yes.
when you do stuff like that, that's called courage. And then you know what it does? It heals you. And then you know what it does? It allows you to help so many other people. And that's why you're here. And that's why your passion is so great. You know why? Because you figured out that the world needs you, and you are okay with that. And you
Absolutely.
are okay
Absolutely.
with that, because now, to have that kind of thing on you, where you know it's about sharing your story, how you came on in the beginning so passionate, it just clicks now, because it's not about you anymore.
No.
You understand?
True. Very
and
true,
and
Gloria.
you
Very
want,
true.
and this is what I tell the women all the time. This is where you want to be in your life, where it's not about you. It doesn't
Mhm.
mean you don't have problems. It
Mhm.
doesn't mean that you don't struggle. It doesn't mean that you don't get fearful. And it doesn't mean that you don't battle with your mind and
Yes.
yourself and your thoughts and your feelings. But you know one thing, if God did it one time, he'll do it again. And
Yes.
you got a whole road of examples to see why you are qualified to be in that seat that you are in, right?
Thank you. Thank you.
That's why we do what we do.
It's amazing, actually. You guys have helped so many people. It's this is if this event or this type of communication was present in the times that I had all was going through my hardships,
Mm-hmm.
in moments that I needed someone to talk to,
Mm-hmm.
it would probably be a lot lighter.
Yeah.
So
But the voice that you needed was your own voice, so you knew who you were. See, I tell the women that too. When if you're here, is because you're ready to listen. You're ready for a teacher. If those women who are not there, they're not ready for a teacher,
mm,
because when they are ready in their lives, everything, the teacher shows up.
yes,
When your job was ready for something different, the teacher showed up. You
mhm,
were there, right? They were
yes,
waiting on you all them years to get your nurse's degree, to become a nurse, to go through all of that, to be at that particular moment, to make their job easier. They've been waiting on you for years. You see what I'm saying?
And I enjoy doing it every single
Absolutely.
day. It's like waking up each morning and making sure that I can say to God, thank you. I have a purpose today.
Thank you. It's so crazy, Jasmine, because I was on my way to dinner this afternoon, and it just hit me. And I said, man, God, I have an amazing life. I have an amazing life. I said, I get to do what I want, when I want, eat what I want, go where I want to go. I have the
Mhm.
activity of all of my limbs. I can speak. I can love on people. I can be excited about everything. I don't really have any problems or challenges. And if I do, I can handle them. Right.
Yes.
So I go into the restaurant after saying all of that, and I talk out loud, and I'm waiting to be seated. And then there's a guy that is right beside me, and he said, "Can you join me for dinner?" He's like, "Your energy is so great. I'll pay for your food." I promise you. Sure did. Sure did.
Yes,
And we
yes.
sat there and we talked, didn't want anything. We parted ways. And he was like, "Hopefully I see you again." And I said, "Hopefully." And then that was the end. Because when
See,
when it's on you, it's on you. Right?
correct. Yes. It's the energy just
It's
travels.
the That's exactly what he said. He said, "There's something
Yes.
about your energy. Have dinner with me. I'll pay for your food. Let's sit down and let's talk." Right?
Wonderful. That's
So
awesome.
you know it when you see it, but it comes with understanding that you have to be able to manage your trauma and know when to be self-aware. Now, what we're saying is it doesn't go away,
No.
right? It's there.
It's like you come to terms with it, and once you are enjoying your life in a sense that it's not for you, just for you. You
Correct.
are creating a difference for other people.
Yeah.
Once you see it in that way, it is no longer just a job.
That's
It is
not your
no longer
story no
just a
more.
title. It's no longer just a profession.
It's
It
not
is
your
your
story.
mission.
You have
It
a
is your
different story now. You have a
yes,
different story now. That's not your story no more. That was your story back then, right?
yes,
But you have evolved, you have grown, and this is the person that you want to talk about. This is the person that you want the world to see because you
yes,
bust your ass to get here. You see what I'm saying? So,
exactly, for
Jasmine,
sure.
thank you. Thank you so much. So, how can
Thank you.
we go and get some of these bags and look at what you have? What do we do?
Well, if anyone is interested in seeing or ordering my bags, we do customization. So check on my website, jasminsattache.com,
Mhm.
or just type on Facebook, Jasmine's Attache, Instagram, Jasmine's Attache. Gloria, thank you so much for having me. I
Thank
so
you so
appreciate your
much,
time.
Jasmine. I think this was a wonderful conversation, and like I said, it's going to help so many women, and we really going to put it out there. And I would just tell you that you figured it out, right? And you even going the extra mile where now you're reaching back and you helping others. Always, always remember to take care of you, because once we get to this stage, we usually want to give and give and give, and we want to be able to help, help, help. But remember to have your boundaries. Remember to know and understand that your cup always have to run over. Don't let it run empty,
For sure.
because the runneth over is for everybody else. The cup that's full is for you, right?
That's amazing. Thank
So
you.
make sure you keep that as you're doing this work, because the world needs you. So we need to be able to keep that cup runneth over. And the only way we can do that is if you continue to love yourself and to take care of yourself.
That's
Okay.
wonderful. Yes.
That's
It is a
all I have to say.
transformation for sure that
Absolutely.
we have to understand to save our sanity,
Absolutely.
to bring us to bring us the happiness and contentment and peace of mind.
Yes, ma'am. So I appreciate you. Thank you. And we'll
Thank you
definitely
so much.
talk again. Okay.
Bye, Gloria.
All right. Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.